Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome to another random Team BN stream out of nowhere, because that is what we do best. Today is a special day where we're going to be later on revealing the first and latest Mega Man network transmission task made by Pontus. But before that, we're going to start you guys off with a regular any percent run by ZELLLOO. So let's introduce everyone who's going to be commentating today, starting from top to bottom. So Fat Kid, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Fat Kid. I have run this game before. I'm vaguely familiar.
Alright, and Pontus, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Pontus. I used to be a runner of this game too, but I'm getting along in years, so now I switched over to testing.
Ah yes, the classic retirement.
I would like to say that their run is better than mine, by the way.
Alright, and Tara, like to introduce yourself?
I'm Garage42. I also used to speedrun network transmission. It's a fun game. I think as the third runner, that Doysum started, or not Doysum, he had the record for a long time. I think maybe like the first good finished run. There's like a really old thread on Speed Demo's archives talking about the progression of the game, and to see it culminate into a task finally is exciting. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's always cool to see a task for the first time of a game. And lastly, our runner here, ZELLLOO, would you like to introduce yourself?
No, no, I will. I'm ZELLLOO. So I came into this for network transmission like 2020. It'd been a few years since any real activity on the game, and just kind of been pushing it down thanks to help with the Team BN community. So this has been like a fun experience, a really fun run, but it's also a very difficult run. So we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, it's always great when you go into runs like this with not a whole lot of practice. You never know what'll happen. So, is there anything we want to say before we get the run started, or want to just let me know when to start the timer, ZELLLOO?
I think we're about good. I'll just go ahead and start the unskippable cutscene.
Ah, yes, that's right. Time doesn't
So anyone
start
not
till
familiar with
after
network
this.
transmission, this game takes place between BN1 and BN2. This is the ending of BN1 where we're fighting the life virus. We can't skip this, so it's just a minute of downtime. But we also get to see the great Mega Dab. And what good is a network transmission run without Mega Dab?
What's a life virus?
They're the final boss I won this one.
Oh yes, it's between Wonder Swan and 2.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's its own canon. That's why he's got the Battle Network 3 PDT.
Canon.
Well, you just saw an M cannon. Of course it's canon. I wish my charge shot was that good, but what we'll get later is what we'll get later is it's good enough.
I don't know what happened to it after this cutscene. He stopped working out.
Lan just moved the files around. You know him. He's very ditzy. If you've watched the entire anime, he's very ditzy. Anyways, we'll get started. Timing in 3, 2, 1, go.
We start off answering emails because we're forced to. This
So,
tells us stuff, and
Text
I
in
think we
this
get one.
game, you can alternate between A and B, and it'll like scroll the text and then advance the text, and you can do that just about as fast as you can push the button, and you can alternate. So ZELLLOO is like pretty good at it and really fast, but obviously a task has certain advantages that'll make that opening even more interesting. So keep this moment in mind an hour from now.
Oh, there'll be a lot more of those moments as well.
Yeah, I actually play on a SNES controller with an adapter, so I can actually just kind of mash between B and Y with my thumb, and it just kind of works out that way to mash.
Oh, nice.
Okay, you can use. Oh, yeah, Y. SNES Y.
What controller do you use, Fat Kid, when you played?
Oh,
I used the, well, I started off with the normal GameCube, but pretty quickly I got the Hori Game Boy player pad, which is now horrifically expensive, unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess what we could do is talk about like all the little optimizations that ZELLLOO's doing, so you can kind of like appreciate the next level that the TAS is going to take it to. You can see there's like a bit of a animation whenever you use a chip, and then like also when you land it kind of stops for a second, so you try to combine and cancel the two out. So you'll use a cannon in the air, so when you land you can start moving again more quickly, and then sliding as much as possible because it's slightly faster.
yeah, thankfully the slide in this game feels pretty good to control. It's very
Yeah, it
fluid.
goes,
It's like some other Mega Man games have kind of clunky slides to begin with, like say like the beginning of Mega Man 8.
Or Wonder Swan.
Wonder Swan
thankfully-
doesn't have physics, it has suggestions.
That's true. Thankfully, unlike, say, Wonder Swan or Mega Man 6, you can jump out of the slide whenever you want. It goes a pretty good distance and it's a very good speed. You can chain them together pretty easily. Although I assume the TAS will be even better at it than Zelda.
Frame, perfect. It's like that one frame where you jump instead of slide in Wonder Swan.
Yeah, right into spikes.
Oh, you know, I've always wondered, like, skipping that backup. I'm excited to see if the TAS jumps over it or not, because it's like, it's almost not even, I don't know, it's so close, because you have to backtrack anyway, but it'll be neat to see how similar and different the routes are.
I want to say Joker jumped over it when they did runs.
It's like a, you know, it's a power play.
True, I never did.
I'm gonna equip heat armor for marathon safety because otherwise Fireman is very, very dangerous, and it also helps for a couple sections later. If this was a record attempt, I wouldn't go for heat armor because it does save a lot of time. The not menuing in this game is pretty slow.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to go for the whole like pause screen animation, unlike say text just going as fast as you can now.
I don't know how far you tried it, but you can take one full hit and one hit on hit. From Fireman without dying.
Yep.
I used to do that strat too, but I never spoke about it so anyway. So I found that out.
Yeah, when we get to Fireman, he can either do his firearm, which is a little hard to dodge if you're trying to go fast, or he'll do his like burner attack, which he just has terrible aim with. And so it's kind of, he's got, I think, 3 opportunities, so you've got a couple 50-50s, and depending on like marathon setting or how much you enjoy doing the tutorial over and over again, you can put on heat armor and that lets you take another hit.
Yeah, the
It
firearm
also-
alone does 50 damage, and we start with 80 HP, so it's pretty
Yeah.
nice to have heat armor for free if you're starting out.
I just like putting it on because it helps later as well, and you don't need to menu for it again. So it's just like I might as well if you're not going for a very top run. Also, when you mentioned he has a second attack, it took me a while to figure out which one you meant, and then I remembered. That's an attack.
The attack that should never hit, hopefully.
Yeah. And then the final one's extra flashy. That's more consistent because that's just like an HP threshold thing.
Yeah. Stand slightly out of his range, it just doesn't hit you with it. You can burner, but you're probably gonna be fine. Especially if you have the armor.
Y'all want to talk about the reg system real quick?
Like it does.
Sure. You hit Z, and then you can reg things. Reg is another upgrade you can pick up throughout the game. You start with 4, right?
8.
8, I think.
8. You start with 8. And we increase it in the run to whatever the hell double jump has, 16.
24, I think, with 3 bone.
Damn it.
And Mega Cannon.
Alright, we
Sure.
increase it to that. There
Yeah,
we go.
so we end with 32.
32. Yeah, that's right. We have to get like 3 total.
3 of them.
Yeah, 3.
And there's like 1 or 2 of them are pretty free, and then if they're, it's funny. Like there's almost just enough power-ups that are right in our way to satisfy the run. There's a couple that are a little slow, so seeing which ones maybe the TAS tries to skip. Because like we used to get 320 HP because Zero has a quote-unquote undodgeable attack that does 300 damage. And then there's a couple enemies in the undernet that we want to damage boost through. So having, I think, 280 health gives you just enough to...
300.
280 gets you killed. 300 is the safe threshold.
Yeah.
I
So,
learned that the hard way when I accidentally forgot to buy an HP mem,
yeah,
and that was
so-
a very good run. Died there.
Yeah, but doing less than 300 HP means that you need a different strat for the undernet, which, if you can control which chips you draw, is plausible because you've got barrier and could maybe even like RNG drop in Invis. I don't know, maybe. Oh, Invis is an interesting chip in network transmission that you don't
I
really
just
see.
realized my health is really low. I think we can do this. Improv.
Nice.
If I did
Yeah, I
not
don't want.
get that wide sword to connect, I would have died. So I'm kind of glad that worked on the fly.
Yeah, that beat tank.
Mm.
It's hard to get through a lot of the section, and liberal use of damage boosting is good for speed. That's another reason that you just want a bunch of health.
Mm. I don't know how much you can say without spoiling, so I'm trying to keep it to a minute.
Yeah, Pontus is like, well, actually,
He wants to. We'll get there, don't worry.
yeah.
We'll do a little bit of shopping here. 1 mem up and 1 HP mem. The mem ups not only increase your max MP, but they also increase the regen rate because it's more percentage based. So we want as much memory as possible.
Yeah, memup is separate from reg memory. It's the yellow bar to the left of Mega Man.
Yeah, the megabyte of a chip is both its like energy consumption as well as the regular capacity. So two different upgrades to get around it. Gutsman is, the first 2 bosses in Network Transmission are some of the hardest because it's just you're not really strong yet, and so
Yeah,
Gutsman can be a bit of a bully. We've got a bunch of cannons, but as far as the other chips, it's really just Wide Sword and V-Gun. Wide Sword does 80 damage, Cannon does 40, but it also takes a lot more megabytes, so managing MP in this boss fight is part of what
Make
makes
sure
it.
that we have enough. We're gonna switch over. We can reg stuff in the middle of a level, and then since the custom screen at the top is already filled, we can just instantly draw what we get. So I can pull the swords out of my folder.
Yeah, this game is very. The first part of it, first 2 levels are very difficult. I got this originally when I was a child. I got this for my birthday once, but I didn't beat it until several years later because I couldn't get past Gutsman for
don't
the
blame
longest
me.
time.
Understood. It's kind of like if you were to buy a memory card that had an NT save file on it, it's like you could bet money that it's either before Fireman or before Gutsman.
Yeah, it's like getting a
Pretty
VM1
much.
cart, and it's always like midway through power plant cart.
Power plant. That kind of applies to this one too.
Actually, that's true.
My English wasn't very good either at that point, so I could never figure out how to save the game because I couldn't do it mid-stage. So every time I had to start from scratch, from Fireman,
Wow.
losing
Oh,
Gutsman,
wow.
everything.
That's how I played all my games as a kid too, because I didn't have a PS1 memory card. So I just treat every game like it was like an NES game without a password.
We're such boomers.
Yeah.
So there's 2 sections in the game that branch out into 4 different options, and the RTA routes has been mostly the same for a while. We use Cannon for Gutsman, and if you can get away without regging anything else for the fight, then you'll have it carry over here. Cannon is enough to get through the bank stage, as well as deal with the boss. And then this gets us some money, and so we can go shopping. Because then generally the stage we do after this is going to be Garden with Needleman, because we can buy some heat bees and take advantage of the elemental weakness. And then from there we do Waterworks, because heat bee is good to get double kills, so we can get double jump. And then we finish with Fragment Stage. So it'll be interesting.
A lot
to-
of things in this game work out like beautifully. The way
Yeah.
the route has been set up. It's very neat.
Good, I
Good.
didn't accidentally go the wrong way on the lasers this time like I did in my D-Rust.
Yeah.
Nothing like
okay.
insta-death lasers in this game.
But one thing I've been thinking about is how Heat V, like doing Brightman before Waterworks would be interesting, and you could pick up some satellites and then use that instead of the Elixord on Iceman. There's not too much room for flexibility in terms of the routing, but a task certainly would have additional options available, being able to guarantee certain chip throws. Because another reason we do Brightman stage last is because Waterworks gets us a reg up, which allows us to guarantee Tree Bomb, which you need to beat that boss quickly.
That was a good quick man
Speaking
fight.
of-
Yeah.
Speaking of the boss, this is where the game introduces its favorite boss gimmick of having like a parry or a block. So you shoot them once, they react, and then you can actually hit them.
Yeah, Quickman cooperated pretty nicely. He went up to the top because if you try and sword him when he's on the ground, he'll usually just dash into you right afterwards. So you save the swords for when he's up in the air usually. So very good fight.
Yeah, Quickman and the whole bank section is the Dark Souls of NT.
Really fun though. I think Quickman's one of the most fun fights.
Yeah,
once you
it's-
get good at it.
It's definitely the most execution heavy, and once you get good at it, it's quite fun. But he can also be a jerk and just run you over, or just decide to just keep blocking your attacks and keep dashing.
Even if you're a new player, he's not the worst either. That goes to Primate. Because that boss
Yeah.
design makes no sense to a new player. And still not to me.
The strongest
That's,
mashy.
That was a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's kind of bad. So we'll grab this backup HP mem. This one I wouldn't grab for attempts, but kind of need it now.
Yeah, safety.
Yeah. Don't worry, I also have Wide Sword. The nice thing about this game is that, depending on what chips you have, you can do some really cool backup strats. I'm gonna wait for that fishy. So I can just wait for the fishy instead of trying to blow it up. I have Wide Sword now, which I can use on the Gabiol that's guarding the only purple mystery data that we will open in this run. So I can save myself a damage boost there. So there's just a lot of flexibility, but there's also knowing what kind of strats are available to you depending on your random chip draws.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this game, especially with Speedrun, is just managing your MP and then making adjustments based on that. It's pretty cool. Like, it's usually fine every run, but if something goes wrong, then you have to adjust. It's a really cool aspect that isn't in that many platforms.
My favorite is when you get a guard.
Yeah.
I don't have enough HP now. I'm gonna have to take this slow. Okay. Nope.
Darn.
That's actually bad too, because we're gonna have to
Yeah.
wait for the custom screen to fill back up later. Alright.
For the boss.
Oh well. Lost my train of thought there. So, death in this game is very punishing because
that
if you
was-
die, you don't get your chips back that you've used so far.
That was intentional. They just wanted more tree bombs.
Yes, we're gonna switch over to 100% so I can use them.
Going for the gauntlet and one.
Okay,
The-
now we can damage boost.
The last of those like tree bomb enemies in this stage is like a 50-50 chance if you get the chip or not. Well, probably less than. But when you do, it's like 4 tree bomb 1s is pretty good. 3 tree bomb 2s is just about a replacement for certain situations, and so that can kind of be like an optional strat. I like tree bomb 2. Not everyone uses tree bomb 2.
I use
Yeah.
tree bomb too. I'm a fan.
I don't.
Mhm.
I just never bother putting them in. So we gotta wait here. We did a quick folder edit. We dumped Stone Body for Heat V. Heat V is really good in this game, since it does 60 damage, Heat Element. You can stack them, they're fast, and they're good for clearing out Needleman coming up.
Yeah, usually you wouldn't have to wait here because the custom screen will be open. Because of the death, we have to just wait a little bit for the
Yeah, I
EVs.
think
And you
the
need
bard-
the EVs.
Takes a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about a minute death. Deaths in this game are very costly, not only on the chip issue, but also the time.
This boss is also another mean one.
Yeah. Whenever you flinch an enemy, they will generally like react and counterattack. Needleman was passive there at the start. Kind of weird thing. You get a little nervous depending on what bosses do, because when you're close to it, Needleman's got this quick attack he can do, and then when he gets low health, he has like most bosses have some sort of desperation attack. Needleman will turn invulnerable, jump up in the air, and just waste a lot of time. But we avoided that, so that's good.
Shout out to Verilix, another fellow NT runner who taught me the strat to avoid the desperation attack on Needleman. If you crash into him, while after the 4th EV, you can just skip doing the desperation because he tries to do the close range attack all the time.
Yeah,
So you just damage boost off his body, which does less damage, and you're safe.
Yeah, forces his close range attack. It's pretty nice. I didn't really mention it. We mentioned it vaguely at the start, but the Buster in this game starts out completely useless, pretty much.
Yeah,
It
3
does no
damage per hit.
It does no damage, you cannot charge it, and you can't spam it either, unless you're point blank, because there's a... he has a rapid stat in this game, and it starts low also. So that's why they're never using the Buster, because it starts out bad, you can upgrade it, and good things happen when you do.
This is the only chip farming we're going to do in this run. We're going to farm these Pepes. Pepes drop dupe jump, double jump, but we like to say dupe jump.
That's the
And
name
that's
of the
like-
chip.
Yeah, it is. In English, it is. So this is extremely useful, definitely our best movement option for the whole game. So we're going to farm up 10 of them, which is the max, and we will use those throughout the run.
They're so useful.
5 heat Vs take out Needleman. 5 heat Vs gives us 10 double jumps. It's like this game was designed to be speedrun.
I don't have the health to think, so I'm just going to kill this bear. Thank God for drawing Lil Bomb.
Can I ask on topic of that? Because I always got 6 heating, because it was nice to have an extra one to play the first set of Pepes so you don't get drops from. Is there a reason why you don't?
I did that as well, actually. I got 6 so I can shoot the guy at the start, and then use the next 5.
Yeah, I guess that works out. There's a little bit of flexibility with the money
Yeah.
route, depending on how you want to do things.
6 is just pretty nice.
Yeah,
It's
typically
honestly.
I get 6 and I don't get Electrodes. Typically.
I
Or
agree.
use
This
Electrodes.
is very different. How do you fight Iceman then? Because like the boss of this stage is Iceman, and 3 Elect Blades are really good to have against it. If you don't have that, then you can use Tree Bomb or some other things. It's a weird fight otherwise. So how do you handle Iceman?
I just went at him with what I had. Typically Shockwave, I guess, but usually get something else.
Interesting. So you kind of just like improv the fight based on the draw?
Typically.
See, I was supposed to use Select Blades, but I forgot every other run, so I had to 3-bomb him all the
I could
time.
attest to that, even during our like casual races last year.
This is
It's
the
like-
most evil mini-boss in the game, and if you don't have Shockwave, you're gonna be hit for like 5 minutes.
Well, it's Shockwave multi-hits, mini-bomb multi-hits, you saw that on the bear. Little bomb is like a AoE mini-bomb. So Shockwave works out because we have a bunch of it, the enemy goes up and down. But if you can... when this game was being routed initially, because you can buy mini-bombs in Higsby Shop for super cheap, and they cap out at 30, so you could get a ton of mini-bombs and bring them into this fight, but that's like chaos.
I did not actually know that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I didn't know
So
that
I'm
used
looking
be the
forward to
strength.
seeing how the TAS handles that fight specifically.
Okay, I don't have MP. Uh-oh, this Shrimpy's getting in my way. Guys, what do I do?
My
Uh-oh.
controller's broke.
You press up and down at the same time, and Mega Man starts flossing.
Alright, so the Death Warp thankfully puts us back at the top of the room, which is where we want to go anyways, because we needed to grab a key in that room. And it also refills our MP completely, which is good, because Elect Blades cost 24 megabytes to cast. And we kind of need a lot in order to do this boss fight.
Damage boosting past the polar bears. They've got 300 HP, so 2 mini bombs will take it out because of the multi-hit. But otherwise, like getting around the cube inside it. So, Iceman fight. This is cool.
And they do 100 contact damage.
Yeah, they do a lot. It's always scary getting past the bears, because if you're late on your second jump by even just like maybe a few frames, you're dead because you're still in the hitbox.
Yeah, it doesn't help that you also get caught on the ice cube they spawn in their body, and it pushes you the other direction towards
Yeah, that
their
can
hitbox
happen.
again. So yeah, I've got to be careful of that also. Does ice conduct electricity? It's a very good question.
Ask Iceman. Oh wait.
It's fine. Backup data. He's in the park now. They're just playing.
No, he's in my room. Remember, we've got everything in the all the figurines.
Our victim, our friends.
This is kind of bad. I didn't get any kind of attack chips. I'm not sure what's going on right now. We're gonna try and work this out.
He's just dancing. There's like a HP mem up there.
Yeah, I gotta get that one.
Jump.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got bailed by it, but I have to do a bunch of maneuvering because I have no attack chips aside from the tree bombs.
Yeah, you got
So-
recov, so this will be fine. It's damage.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just make that work.
This stage usually has the coolest movement in the game. Now this stage has the winging it movement.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, well, now I'll get attack chips. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Oh, now every single one shows up. Go figure. Let's do the screen properly now. Like, this is the coolest screen for horizontal movement when you actually do it right.
Yeah, this stage is so cool. I love this.
Oh, second coolest.
Ooh. The enemy's hitboxes here are pretty annoying. The enemies spawn proximity a little bit ahead of the screen. They'll start their movement, and so if you go through the stage at the same pace, they'll be in the same positions, and you can account for that. But like, if any randomness kind of gets in your way, the whole strat just falls apart.
Also, if you ever get hit by one of these bunnies, you're probably just dead.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to the Mega Bunnies just sunlocking you.
Yeah.
The paralyzed effect is very strong and lasts a long time, especially at the higher tiers, because the idea is that you get hit by one and then get hit by something else. But the Mega Bunnies, it lasts long enough that they can just by themselves stun lock you.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Speaking of things that are awful, this boss, but we're just hopefully not going to see anything from him.
Yeah, so this boss works in a strange way, but you can exploit his mechanics a little bit by doing this. If you shoot a buster above his head, he goes into like a flinch animation where his guard's up, but when he changes animation for a short amount of time, his parry window or block window goes down, so you can just throw a tree bomb at him, and then you can throw another one while he's getting his iframes back. And as soon as he stops being invulnerable, he gets hit again. You just repeat it until he's dead. P5.
Yep. Alright, well, chalk that up on the list of things that's never happened before. I've never gotten no attack chips in shopping comps before, even in like
Really?
100%. Yeah, I've never had that happen.
Wow, I've had that happen a lot actually.
Yeah, maybe it's worth, because it's like with the Battle Network GBA games, we've looked a lot at how the RNG works and how the shuffle works, but for NT, it's kind of RNG manipulation has less of a benefit in real time, and it's not as manipulable as far as we know in an RTA setting, but in a TAS it is. So Pontus, can you describe any of like how the shuffling works and how the RNG works from your experience?
Yeah. It's the single most important thing that you're able to do in the task. Is to stack the folder basically to guarantee whatever ships you want. And because you can look ahead and see what the draw will be, the chip draw, on a given frame sometime in the future, and then you can just go back or load a previous save state, put the chips in the order, like to switch them out with the original chips in the draw, and then you'll have your good chips basically. And so, well, it let me do basically whatever I wanted in a stage. Only limited by mana or by AMP in some cases, but yeah, it broke the run. Not wide open, but it basically made me able to do every stage with ideal chip draws, and that made it a lot more fun, I should say, and a lot faster in every case, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like, you know, as demonstrated by ZELLLOO's unluck in the shopping stage, sometimes you don't get any attack chips. It's uncommon, but it can happen. So the alternative is you get all 4 random chips that you want, and then that gives you a bunch of additional movement and damaging options. Like dash is cool in places, as demonstrated.
Dash attack coming in clutch there because I took that extra hit on the B-Tank, so I didn't want to damage boost off that clown. Dash attack is really good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Thankfully, the
Yeah,
way
it comes in handy quite a few times.
technically the way regging works in this game, the randomness of not getting chips isn't that big of an issue because you can just reg an attack or reg double jump where you don't need to kill anything. But occasionally on some stages it's a problem like this.
Yeah,
This fight is
particularly
interesting.
the first half of the game.
Yeah,
Color
this
Man,
fight
how does he
is
work?
certainly is a fight.
Oh, he moving. Oh, stop.
Yeah, he's getting there.
He's a coming.
Yep. Let me put up some bubbies. Thankfully, I got a bunch of them during the waterworks, so this helps a lot.
Yeah, the one good thing about the
Roller
first
stuff.
mini boss is each of those final enemies can drop above the.
Oh, okay, my warm-up run had a damageless fight, and I just got another damageless fight. What?
Yeah, that boss does have attacks normally, I swear.
Did he do the fire at all? That's
No, he
annoying.
didn't do the
No,
flame
he did
tower.
not through fire at all.
Interesting.
Wow.
Pontus.
He didn't even do the vertical bouncy ball either.
Yeah, just the basic attack and walking. Were you able to like time attacks to get the bosses to do the attacks that were fastest, or say not attacking?
Well, what happens is they get the iframes after you damage them, right? So as long as I could hit him first possible frame, as soon as the iframes went away, that was the fastest way. Or
Gotcha,
like,
so-
so there were a lot of options there, basically.
Yeah, you don't necessarily manipulate the attacks as long as you can get the hit in as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the most difficult stage for MP conservation. Like, we want to use lots of dupe jumps everywhere, so we don't really get to use much of anything else, and it's a very vertical stage in Area 2. Gonna pick up this Buster power-up right here. We're gonna pick up our last Buster power-ups here, and then we'll buy the rest after this stage.
Haven't
Mm,
used any
this-
of them yet.
Power Plant 2 is it requires the most, like, wide positive movements out of any other stages, so. The only way to go upwards is by jumping. Having to jump a lot means a lot of dub jumps or tube jumps. That's why it's so intensive. It was the hardest stage to test.
Oh, really?
I believe it.
Also got some of the best music. I really enjoy this stage's music. Like, this whole soundtrack's amazing, but, like, the angry bass line really gets me going for this one. We're just gonna skip this awful room with 2 dupe jumps and just climb right past this ladder puzzle.
I'll mention my favorite track when we get to it, but it's a pretty average stage.
Alright, let's see how kind Elecman's gonna be.
Black Man's like, I'm not touching you. I'm not.
This is another boss where you have to attack it first, and it instantly counters, like disappears, teleports behind you, and then you can counter them as they attack. Like pointing their finger angrily.
That's not good.
2 bubblers and some tree bomb.
I'm gonna play this safe. Okay. Yeah, 1 lightning struck me and I lost over half my health. This fight is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, if you get unlucky clouds, you just have to take the fight slow or risk dying, because clouds really get in your way. The more clouds appear, the faster you attack them as well, because they don't despawn. Because they're on a timer.
Y'all want to talk about plot just a little bit?
I don't remember it. Zero virus is going around.
I meant to say earlier, on Collarman, during the task I had to make sure he didn't move closer to me. Speaking to... Oh yeah, as per your question earlier. Because, well... for the chip I used to own him, I had to be able to jump twice without him hitting me, but if he moved even 1 step closer, or 1 part closer, I would get hit on the way back by the ball, so I had to make
Ow.
sure of that, and it shows on the fight, because I dance around a lot.
That's some cool manipulation.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see that. Alright, so anyways, plot-wise, Mega Man succumbed to the Zero virus a bit, and we're gonna go look for information on the Zero virus by going to the Zero account.
Yeah, Zero Virus is making some navies go berserk and start attacking everything. That's why you had to fight Gutsman at the beginning.
I thought
This is-
Gutsman was just being rude.
Maybe it was. Maybe that was the twist. This is a neat stage to just go here to as part of the plot. This is the internet area from the start, but you don't actually need to attack anything. So you just damage boost through the train and take all the jumps.
Yeah, because we got the health for it, and we don't necessarily have the damage for it.
Yeah, and since it's an early area, things don't actually hit you very hard.
So this is the power of Doob Jump right here. You've already seen it in a couple other levels, but especially right here too. We're just going to shortcut back to Number Man instead of having to play through all of Outer Net, which saves a lot of time.
Thanks to double jump, I don't remember what half the stages look like anymore. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done old in the regular way in many years.
Old Area 1? It's like, no, I only remember Old Area 2.
Don't worry, you can TAS 100% next and cry just like I did doing my runs.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I thought. Well, after if I
Speedrun just went from pea shooter to a truck. Very fast moving, very hard hitting truck.
Yeah, the Buster went from the most useless thing to the most useful thing instantly, throwing all of our attack and charge power-ups in.
It's kind of funny, like the first half of the game you care so much about your chip drop, but then once you can rely on your Buster for damage and Reg Chip Doob Jump for mobility, you're a lot less reliant on the other chips. Like the potential for saving time is less, at least in terms of RTA. So it'll be interesting to see how the task takes advantage of that.
Yeah, in RTA, your mana at this point, for the most part, essentially just becomes double jump fodder.
Good, no green mystery data of shame.
And just barely perfectly jump over that. Well-timed Doob jumps.
Okay, this is one of the most execution-heavy stages in the game, this and the next one. Really fun, but really difficult.
Very easy to die, especially if you're a new runner.
This is also one of the greatest screens for clips, so be ready. I'm sure ZELLLOO's not going to give his content the same way Pat Kid will.
They won't give us a not today moment, unlike you.
I love the 2 P shots. So it's like knowing the exact health or like what it takes to kill these enemies. So do things like that. A full charge shot here, a half charge here,
Yeah,
2 pellets here.
Yeah, I vary it up depending on the movement needed. So that last one, it's just more efficient to do a half charge after the full charge rather than try and do 2 P shooter shots.
Movement in this game and stuff like that is just aesthetically pleasing.
It's really solid. It really feels great. And interesting enough, as janky as this game can be, it's actually pretty well programmed from a stability standpoint.
Yeah, there's some janky things, especially with bosses and the enemies, but in terms of just Mega Man's movements and your chips, it's great.
He's just trolling you.
Yeah.
Show him who the better sword master is. I want to see you hit him with the sword.
Just for you.
That guy beat Proto Man, by the way.
Proto Man just needs to throw more swords. That's his problem.
It
can't jump.
depends. It depends on stage. Some stages are remixes of a classic song, others are original.
Alright, we're gonna get a bunch of barriers for later. Barriers are really good in this game.
They're cheap too. It's like
Yeah.
heat kind of cheap, barriers kind of cheap, and both of them are tremendous value.
They
for
really are.
getting around certain problem areas.
Yeah, I'm sure people being able to buy Heat Vs early probably saved a lot of their playthroughs. They're just so good. Okay, so pretty much every stage in this area has a new gimmick of some kind. So we're gonna get the first of our gravity-based gimmicks.
Is this your song, Fat Kid, or is it the next stage?
Here's the next stage.
Agree.
Very
So there's a
close,
couple GMDs along the way, and they can contain potentially useful things, but usually it's not enough to warrant even bother picking them up. So I'll be curious. I think we in the RTA just avoid GMDs if at all possible, because there's almost no value they can give. But in a task, potentially I can see one of them being picked up in a useful way, so it'll be interesting.
There's one. I'll say that.
Ah, nice.
They do have some pretty good drops. There's only like 2 good drops, but they're really good.
Fighting over those spikes always scares me.
Alright, that's the last reg up we'll pick up. That gives us 32 megabytes, so we'll be able to set M cannon later.
Imagine needing to reg chips.
Right.
This is my like slight conflicted stage. I probably died the most while learning, but it has some cool moves.
That's kind of bad. I did not get a mega cannon from that because I was a little slow. So this game does have a ranking system for the viruses. You just can't see it. But since I didn't S-rank that cannon and didn't get lucky, I did not get a mega cannon, so I'm going to need to farm an extra one later on.
Yeah, the ranking system, to my knowledge, is just based on how fast you kill the enemy since they spawn in.
Time-based and
good,
also
and-
damage-based.
Oh, it is damage-based? I actually didn't think
Yes.
that mattered. Okay, I learned something.
Well, number of hits based.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about also, it's like we double delete the shoot jump on it, and it could be effective. Fire aura head enemy at the end. So Gravity Man. Poor unfortunate boss. He's just a little slow, you know.
He's running a simple AI.
But he's so incredibly powerful.
I've died.
Oh,
to
stop
this guy
blocking my
before.
shots.
I
Jeez.
agree.
Stop
the hitbox
blocking
for
my
this guy.
shots.
The hitbox for this guy is bizarre.
You're,
It is
you're hitting-
really weird.
You're hitting his pants. That's his only armor.
How many navis in this series even wear pants? Now I have to go check.
Mega Man has the Adidas.
Yeah, we've got
Doesn't start
jumpsuits, but
from
not a
the
whole lot of pants. Alright, it's Fat Kid's moment to shine with the next stage coming up. His favorite. With also one of the, like, absolute worst bosses to get through. Hey, I got Bub V, nice.
You know, Starman, I think, because let's see, we have fairly reasonable strats to reliably beat most bosses, but Starman is one in there where it's like Starman and Zero have enough randomness and high damaging, hard to dodge attacks to where that's where your skill as a runner will come into play, because Starman has some like aggressive strats that you can use against him, but they're risky and chip dependent and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, from this point, some of the bosses essentially have some undodgeable attacks. Starman is based on what position he is on the screen when he starts the attack, but there's others that are just straight up undodgeable because from this point they expect you to have stack barriers and invises, but in a speedrun we can't always guarantee this.
Or more than 200 health.
No, more than 200.
200 health.
Couldn't be me.
So spikes in most Mega Man games kill you. In this one, they do 200 damage. So yeah,
That's
more
pretty
like
nice.
a slap on the wrist. It's like don't go there.
A very rare instance of the network transmission being kind to you.
You know, I kind of ironically wish that they would kill me instantly for 100% because there's some death warps in that category, and it's just like I have to awkwardly jump into spikes several times because my health is so high.
Oh no, I fell down again. So we have the second mini boss coming up.
Speaking of hitboxes,
This one, it's only vulnerable in the core, and so you have to either thread shots or do AoE. And since we've got like a bunch of above Vs, kind of like heat Vs, we're going to use that to buy them, we'll take them out.
hitting him in the middle, especially with how big the projectiles of chips are, is
It's so hard.
It's so hard, especially when it's moving up and down. You pretty much have to just basic buster or use a triple shot. Okay, Starman, yay. You can sort of manipulate him by doing
I got away from that one.
jump.
Oh, he's
gun.
being really mean.
Oh.
This is extremely mean.
Oh, he did a quick small
There we go.
one.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good interruptions at the end, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
as you saw from the stars, if he's in a specific point of the screen when he uses them, like in the middle parts, you just can't really dodge them. It is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Have to either Doob Jump or Barrier. Those things are not... Doob Jump's not very reliable.
Yeah, he's actually a lot of the reason, both him and Colorman, why I buy a half energy from the shop as a backup just in case one of those fights goes poorly.
Yeah, half energies are cheap, good value. great for starting out because you can carry 5 of them with you and tank through most fights. But so now we have access to the ZELLLOO account, which is mostly just movement, and then we get to one of the more annoying, interesting bosses.
Interesting, yes. Annoying, very yes. So this actually has a new strat that I came up with last year before I put up my my current record. Where we're actually going to start with barrier. We normally start with dupe jump. You could get up there really quickly, and then use dupe jump for the stage. But I found barrier. You usually have to switch to barrier for this fight coming up, unless you're lucky. And barrier is really good for just going through the stage because you can skip all the enemies.
So it's interesting that they require you to do a slide jump there or have dupe jump. It's like, I don't know how intentional that was. The fact that you can slide off of a thing and then jump out of it, obviously they knew. Once you get to Pharaoh Man stage, it's obvious, but it's such...
We don't talk about that part.
I have to imagine that that was like bug turned feature. So...
Somebody explain ZELLLOO while I do the fast strat and hopefully not botch it.
Do you want to, Terry?
Like
So
quick turn,
ZELLLOO
right
has
there,
Oh, Pontus doing it?
Oh, like some of the previous bosses, he will block and teleport after you attack him, and that's when he's vulnerable. Both the busters and the fits. He has
If
a
we're
lot
unlucky,
of...
we get to see a
Oh,
very
there it
there
is.
it is. Right,
There
dodge
it
That
that.
attack deals 300 damage and yeah, covers the entire screen basically on a dodgeable barrier. That was a very good fight, considering.
That was a
Yeah.
good fight. You can actually do that move back to back to back until you die if you get incredibly unlucky, which has happened with many speedruns.
Yeah,
Still
so
want someone to look at his AI because I swear it's because you're shooting him with pellets, and he's like, no, bad fat kid, stop.
yeah, that's actually why if that gets triggered, I just wait around his attack range for him to do like a normal sword slash, because the chance of him doing Phantom Zero by himself is pretty low, but it's much higher if you're trying to like get him to block. So it's usually better to just bait the attack and then just counter off of that.
I listen to you when you say that, and it might increase his chances of doing it. It's just he's done it to me multiple times and I haven't busted him as well, so I just ended up spamming it anyway.
I think he just doesn't like you.
I think that might be true.
Yeah. Who couldn't like Fat Kid? I have issues with this.
There are
What
multiple
more-
instances.
It's out of jealousy.
There are multiple instances of AI doing things they should not technically be able to do just to kill me.
Mm-hmm. The joys of being an NT runner, because we've all had that happen.
It's the Wonder Swan. True.
Been killed by surprise in Wonder Swan BN6 this game. Hey, even other games. Not even Mega Man.
I need to show the best line coming up, by the way.
I could read it.
I'll try. Mega Man, you have to be as rude and crude as possible. Hey, you scumbag! Something like that. Too nice, Mina. You gonna try and stop me? Huh? Don't try any funny business or I'll have to stab you. Rawr!
Wow, you're so nasty. You gotta be from the Undernet. That's such a good scene. I wonder what that actually says in Japanese. I have not read the Japanese script. I have to wonder how exactly they handled that.
I have the image of Lan saying we're gonna have to be as rude and crude as possible on my hard drive, and I'm never deleting it. This is a fantastic out of context image.
It really is. Alright, so basically we tried to go to the Undernet, and it's booby trapped, so we're gonna go look for stuff to get around that trap. So we're gonna go do a shopping trip at Numberman while we head to the next area and buy some stuff.
Part 2. I'm so glad they don't make you fight Proto Man. This should be a different run.
Oh god, yeah. Doing it for 100% was already painful enough.
Like, okay, now we're gonna take a 5-minute detour to farm some invises for the required Proto Man fight later.
I'm probably not sure how they expected you to fight him. I'm pretty sure like half his attacks are basically undodgeable with how fast he is.
They definitely just intended to use the stack invises and stuff. There's no way. There's no way.
In no way. Alright, so we've got a ton of money, so we're gonna buy all the remaining power-ups that we're gonna use for the rest of the run. So that's gonna be, I think, 3 mem-ups right now, and 2 HP mems. So, and then we pocket the remaining Zenny for a little bit later when we do one last shopping trip before the last stage. We're also gonna skip another long ladder puzzle right here using Dude Jump. Definitely not busted.
Man. You know, Numberman also sells Rock Cube and and Slow Fit.
Twister, Blower.
So I would bet money
Bronze
those don't get used in the task, but it would be so funny.
If Slow Fist gets used in the TAS, I'll be so happy. I bet it almost like it's gotta be 98% of casual players don't even know Slow Fist exists. They don't tell you the code anyway.
There's one thing I want to experiment with that would use Rock Cube, but I haven't gotten around to it.
And now I am curious.
We'll see the routing research live in the Discord.
Well, but
Those,
since I haven't tried it yet, but
I'm not gonna go for that. I got stuck on that second block, and I really don't want to die on this screen.
Those ghosts are really mean too. They can just teleport into you like multiple times and
Yeah.
get unlucky.
There's
The Spookies are kind of mean, but it's really the Rattans that are the most troublesome because they deal so much damage. Speaking of damage, that hurt. I'm glad I didn't take more damage.
At least these little baby ones don't do anything.
Yeah, and
Brown
they
one.
scale ridiculously. You got like a rat 1 there, who does like 10, and then you got a rat 3, who does like 100.
It's ridiculous.
Calm down.
Hi, big eye. Bye, big eye.
Oh wait, we're free.
Also, shoutouts to the awesome Pharaoh Man remix in this level. My favorite track in the game.
Yeah, this is my probably second favorite track.
And let's also give a big shout out to my favorite ratty called Shushu. My wife named him.
Bye, Shushu.
He just guards the ledge back and forth, back and forth.
It's really easy to get hit by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost runs to him, so that's why I keep an extra barrier just in case.
Yeah,
I should
same,
shoot, I should
same here. Means you don't get to use one on the boss, but I'm more scared of the rat.
Yep.
Alright, let's see how mean Pharaoh Man's gonna be. He can either do basically nothing, or he can drop 5 billion Anubis statues.
So because generally Charge Buster doesn't give any iframes, or doesn't at all, you can mix chips in while getting your next charge shot, and sometimes it'll be faster. I'm not sure if they're going to do a Ferroman, but keep in mind that you don't trigger iframes on bosses with the Charge Buster. That's one of the main reasons it's so good.
The pellet.
It also doesn't trigger bosses like parries sometimes. They don't react like a normal attack for most of the bosses.
Or Rish.
Here, one of you will talk about Star real quick.
Does anyone watch the Mega Man
the
5
only
speedrun?
this the only useful boss chip in this game, or for the speedrun.
True.
The other
Only
ones are
fast. I'm sure the others could be
very
used.
long.
Only for amusement.
I'm a fan of Fire Arm, I will say. I like Fire Arm.
I'll lock you in on
On the
can't
big
move
puppy.
for 10 seconds. Oh, you need an extra M cannon, right? Is this where we get it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get... I'll get it on the next can of them. I'll just respawn them. Thanks for reminding me, because I actually forgot.
This stage has my least favorite boss.
We
This
used
is
to
my favorite track. Don't you?
farm like 10 mega cannons. Of course, that was like a Z cannon.
Yeah.
Is it
Jazz
very-
actually, Jazz came
Oh.
with that strat, right? I'm pretty sure they were
Okay.
just using
Worked out.
Z cannon.
I think he was the first. He was certainly the first one to like do the full cuss, edit the folder, run out all your chips.
Yeah.
Right.
Alright, and now for the great ride. We're gonna just outrun our buster shots, because that's the best thing we can do.
It's so funny.
Such a shame. That's like
The-
the only place
the regular-
RTA.
The regular pellets go forever, but the charge shots go like to the edge of the screen, and then they're like, oh, I'm out of energy. So weird.
So yeah, Star Arrow skips so many mine cards. It's such a big time saver.
those turnstiles, if you go through them the wrong way, it spawns a ghost, and whenever you slide, it
Oh
does
my
funky
god,
things.
that's why it spawns a ghost, goddamn.
Yeah, whenever you go the wrong way, and whenever you slide, it does funky things to your hitbox, so sometimes it'll spawn when you do it correctly. So Shadow Man will disappear whenever he flinches and he goes up to the top. So if you've got a cannon or a flinching chip, you can loop him up at the top. If you don't quite have enough megabytes to go through the whole fight, so the last one you want to do a charge shot in a single pellet, and then a pause there, or reacting to where he spawns, any of the 3 locations, and then dodging the sword.
Yeah,
As we
Verilix learned how to fight him Buster only, and I tried that, and it is pretty miserable. You don't want to have to resort to that. If he gets running around, you're in trouble.
What was you
Yeah.
gonna say, Pontus?
One funny thing I found when doing the TAS is if you go through the turnstiles from the right way, but you're facing the wrong way, which is possible by star area, you also spawn a ghost.
Oh,
But you're going through them backwards, basically.
that makes sense.
It only happens with star area. But yeah. Funny thing.
I have now
Interesting.
figured out why I got hit by one spooky and it never spawned by anyone else, because I'd always turn around on the star. I'm
That
pretty
kid's
sure. Anyway.
swagging out.
You'll see it one time.
Alright, so did a little bit of folder management. So we threw out most of our folder and replaced them with chips that we only have like one of. We want low quantity chips. Somebody should explain like the last strat.
Well,
for the last
it's
stage.
the only person-only
Like
program.
how you get the
Z
program.
cannon.
Yeah.
You choose, or you select cannon, high cannon, and end cannon in that order, and then they combine to make Z cannon, which turns you invisible for 10 seconds and gives you unlimited 120 damage cannon use. And in order to guarantee that all those 3 chips will spawn, only having chips with one singleton chips basically lets you sort of guarantee it.
Yeah, if you
This is why I
use-
bought the half energy.
Yeah, if you use up a chip, it won't get re-rolled. They're like back into your folder, so you can sift through it easier.
Some tight megabytes. Ooh, nice call. So one other thing is that in some of the Battle Network games, there's the add functionality, so you can draw more chips. NT kind of has that implicitly, where if you don't take a chip, you'll get an additional chip next time. So that's why ZELLLOO's got 9 chips to choose from, and then burn some of them, and then MP charge, and then full cuss, fast gauge. And
Yeah, it works out nicely to where 3 full cuts lets you see the entire folder.
Oh.
So we're just gonna ditch everything. We got the worst luck, unfortunately, but that's fine. This is still better than the old strat where we would get 5 full cuts and then just bank on getting everything we needed with no guarantee, and I've lost runs that way.
yeah, there's definitely like a consistency trade-off here.
Alright, so we have everything we need. We have Zeta Cannon assembled, we have Heat V and Tree Bomb for later. So all that's left is the final boss rush here.
The spike wall on the left actually does you die damage instead of just 200. This firewall, so this is what firewalls look like, if you've ever wondered, is probably the worst boss in the game, but you can cheese it with Z Cannon.
Yeah, it's got
It
1,000
does.
health, so...
It does actually have iframes when you shoot it, despite it not changing like graphically as before. So you have to space out your cannons, otherwise they get wasted.
Alright, we got the boss rush of the first 8 bosses again. Things will go a lot more smoothly considering we have Charge Buster this time. Come on. There we go. Yeah, not being chip reliant on the early bosses is just a lot nicer.
Yeah, revenge for beating them at the start. You can just wail on them with Buster.
Shiny Guts Man.
Wish I had a Pokeball for him. No desperation attack from Needleman again. Nice.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm getting out of here.
Okay, good. I didn't have to do the Buster backup for that. The Buster backup is reliable, but it's very slow for that fight if I miss a Tree Bomb, so glad that didn't have to happen.
Or Iceman. His defensive strategy is being almost too short for your Buster, and it almost works.
If it was actually too short, that would be so depressing.
Z cannon on Quick Man, the vengeance.
There we go. Yeah, we didn't mention it, but between each sections of this boss rush, you actually get a full health refill and folder refill, and that actually refreshes whatever's in your hand at the time, which includes the Z cannon.
That's pretty much what makes getting the Z cannon work too. Is just so you can use it 3 times just from like banking on getting it once. It's very good.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna see the wag your finger strat.
He's tickling your forehead.
And then tree bombing his forehead.
Golly.
Every time he gets hit, he's just like, you.
A rude man.
He's being as rude and crude as possible.
Something power of friendship.
Yeah.
And cheaters. Like, look at this. They go right through the auras.
Something. Somebody gave male folder there.
Gutsman's too strong. The other thing she doesn't do is refill your MP. That's annoying.
Yeah, thankfully not a big
Seems
deal
like
with
an
the setup of
oversight.
this.
It was super annoying pre Z cannon. 'Cause we were using Mega Cannon. And that's expensive.
Yeah, they are. Alright.
Do you want to explain how the final boss works?
Yeah, so they have an aura of one of 4 elements that you're supposed to pay attention to, so you can do enough damage. You need to do, I think, 100 damage to it, but we have M cannon. Just go right through it, and the boss is done. That's about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah, pretty much.
it's completely over and totally safe. Nothing can possibly end the round at this point.
Absolutely
No one's ever
not.
died to whatever this is.
No one's ever died to the
Alien
core.
core.
Time's coming up when the boss reaches 0 HP. And time.
Right.
Nice. That looks like right at 58 minutes.
58. Alright. Considering the deaths, that's fine.
Like, sub-hour is good. That's hard to do on NT. ZELLLOO's
It's
put in
very
a lot
hard,
of
yeah.
a lot of practice and
That was very good.
Thank you.
GG.
We unfortunately didn't save 0, so if you want to save 0, watch 100% and also watch 20 minutes of money grinding. Don't do that.
you didn't get the sauce file.
The sauce file. The Tabasco sauce file. Makes me hungry. Shoot.
So the credits here show the intros to all the bosses, play some music. We'll go through it, and then we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with the MMNT TAS reveal, so you can see all of these strats, but taken to the extreme, and RNG manipulation and everything.
I guess as we're ending like the real-time run, I just want to give a shout out to all y'all for being here for this, and shout out to the Team BN crew for a lot of the support and just kind of doing fun stuff with this series.
Please watch that video that Fat Kid posted in chat. Please watch it. It is so good.
That GameCube, that Wii reset is the fastest thing I've ever done in speedrunning.
Smash your power button any percent.
It was such...
I think Chaotic's reaction is probably just as good.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything about that video is perfection.
That's a very good clip.
That's why Fat Kid is our favorite streamer.
So,
I will say these intros for the bosses are really good, and it's kind of unfortunate we have to skip them.
yeah, they are pretty cool overall. So, what do you guys think in terms of our estimate for the task? Should we make it just the time of RTA? Because we assume it's going to be less, right?
I don't know. What if it's more?
Or, it's,
Frame count. No one will do the math.
I mean, if you really want to give me a frame count, I can do the math.
Why don't we just say estimate on the...
I was going to put. I was also tempted to put question mark, but.
And then we get a little bit of Mr. Dark and Shadow. And be like, hey, let's go to Gospel. And BN2 happens.
Yeah,
Mega
Please
we
play
spent the
BN2.
time.
Space, Battle Network, Space, 2.
So cursed the way it's typed. And yeah, we could put the times early to score as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that, as Tara mentioned, we're going to take a short 10-minute break. Recommend you get up, get some water, maybe a snack, and then we'll be back with a reveal of Pontus's network transmission TAS. First time anyone other than himself has seen it in its entirety. So stay tuned, guys.